Harry here for the Rant on June 14th. We continue in the bubble that goes on forever. Just to give some perspective, every major bubble in history, like 25 to 29, 5 years, okay? And then from late 94 into early 2000, 5.5 years max. This one has gone over 15 years, and it's 100% artificial. It has occurred in a time when we would have had something more like the Great Depression, a long deflationary downturn after a major bubble like the Roaring 20s and the 30s. Okay, well, we had this bubble and it should have burst 2008 into 2022 or so in the down demographic cycle. And instead, when the government saw 2008 become that beginning of a depression, like 1930, they just unloaded the guns. Have been doing it ever since. And $27 trillion later, guess what, folks? We skated over a Great Depression or something like it, okay? So the question is, can you just skate over this and then go back to kind of normal, which I say, no way in hell? Or do we actually, even now that we're finally moving into the period from 2024 to 37, when the millennials will have the best of their boom, not all of it, but it kind of plateaus after 2037, but the best of its rise should come into 2037. Or are we just going to compromise that boom now that we never had this correction and got rid of all this debt and stuff? And of course, that's what the economy does. And that's the huge misconception I've been preaching now here for years, is central banks for the first time, 2008 forward, took over the economy, decided they know best. They don't want a depression. They don't want debts to fail and stuff. They want to have a decent economy, okay? And no matter what. And the truth is, we needed that downturn. The Great Depression washed out debts to such a degree that we did nothing but boom, unprecedented for decades to follow and stuff. So again, this is the definition of the lack of wisdom. So it looks like the markets are trying to top here, and why? Because the Fed finally overdid the stimulus, as I've said, from COVID, and had to tighten, the most since 1980, 81. Okay. So this should hit in the next 6 to 9 months, the strongest. It has been slow to hit because the stimulus is still kind of working through from so much the overreaction to COVID. But this is what should happen. So we've seen Bitcoin looks like it already peaked at 73,750 approximately on March 13th. So that's the first thing to peak, and that should be it. It's kind of the leaders, I've been saying, the leading sector along with AI now and stuff. And it went all the way down to 59,000. So that shows like a likely peak, and it's bounced back up, but it can't seem to get much over 71,000, and it looks like it's about to turn down again. So I think we're going into the next phase of this down, and it's just going to get deeper and deeper. And of course, I continue to monitor the Russell 2000 small caps. They've been leading this downturn, as they usually do. They go down first. They're the smaller companies. They can't hold up as easily as the larger ones and benefit from all this stimulus and stuff. And it's been in this channel between 1630 and 2000, 2100 at the best. And it hasn't been able to break above that. And now it's turning back down. It's back around 2000. And if it breaks 1900 here, that's what I'm looking for. That shows we're probably heading back down. So that's the number one sign I'm looking for here near term. We're also seeing, it's not just the US now, the DAX in Germany and the FTSE in the UK is also seeing some sharp declines. So they look like they've peaked and are starting to go into correction as well. So again, I know this is taking forever, but this bubble is the greatest in history, okay? 15 years, okay? It dwarfs anything. And again, the fact that it's artificial makes it even more dangerous. So this bubble has to burst, and it finally looks like it's about to start. And of course, guess who's leading this bubble? NVIDIA, the new AI wizard company. They're leading this AI thrust and charge, which is supposed to change everything, and it will. I wrote about this in my books way back in the late 90s, called The Automation of Professional and Managerial Work. That's what this is. We automated farm work and then factory work, and then we've automated clerical work. But this is the big stuff, the highest powered work. We're going to automate this with artificial intelligence. It's going to be taking the left brain activities of our professional people and automating that with software, leaving people. And people say, well, what do people do now? We all become entrepreneurs. That's the one thing that we do. We can innovate and test new ideas and new products and services, new ways of doing things, and prove that. That's something computers can't do. So here's what I'm looking for, the key signs near term of this breakdown starting, and then it will probably go for 2 years or more and be down as much as 80 to 90%, as I've been saying, and we'll keep monitoring this. Okay, first we've got the Russell 2000 breaking 1900. I mentioned that, okay. Bitcoin breaking 66,300 will be a sign that it's continuing to fall and it's leading the pack. And finally, the NASDAQ needs to break 17,570-ish here to start showing some weakness and get some momentum to the downside, okay? So this is what we're looking for. This, again, I know some people have missed some gains here and all, but you can never pick a top perfectly, and you shouldn't be messing with that top 10% where everything goes up and down and before it breaks down strongly. Same thing at bottoms. You can't pick bottoms and stuff. So it's a good time to be out. People may want to get short when we start to break down a little farther and see this momentum gain. But this is what we're looking for. And I think we are finally going to see things break to the downside here. And I think June is very likely going to go down as the top month, a major top. And I know Robert Proctor's been looking for June 6th, give or take, so many weeks, is a major long-term top here in cycles and stuff. So I think this is most likely to be it. We will not know until it happens and we get a stronger breakdown. But again, be safe, be defensive, and I'll keep you updated.